Rebuild of the favorites. We here for the latest. South side or the north side. Not tuned to the greatest. Home team for the home teams. Both sides got our own rings. On the mound or the long ball. But we don't put the wrong strings. Yeah. It's that time of the year now. Wrigley or Gantes or the whole league that we hear now. New show with a new mood. Discussions and interviews. Trade rumors that might be. This is Pinwheels and Knife.
What's going on, everybody? We're about to go. We'll get in the show in just a minute here. We just got to make sure it's out on all the social media platforms. And then we got a lot to talk about today, obviously. So you might want to turn your headset. Yeah, Kevin's already yelling. So
maybe it's my volume. I'll take my
your earphones. I'm sorry. I was talking more to the listeners. You can yell all you want. And now Kevin has laugh tracks.
No, you gotta fix that, Kevin. It doesn't sound right. It sounds like it's just playing from like your phone.
Yeah.
Oh, it comes out of the sound deck. That's a cool thing, though. I can actually play something. Good job. I don't like that one. That's bad. The crickets don't sound like crickets. They sound like a squeaky door. Dream sequence with Zoe. Hello.
All right. Although you tweeted out from the Pinwheels account.
It is now out.
There it is. All right. And then I retweeted it. All right.
Well, I can actually hear myself only. Very good.
All right. You guys ready?
Yep.
All right. 3, 2, 1. What's going on, everybody? It is Friday, May 7th, and you have found the Pinwheels and Ivy podcast. I am your host, Matt Swatsky, a.k.a. Southside Zoe, a.k.a. Father Zoe. And with me, as always, drinking it looks like a very nutritional shake there, Mr. Aldo Soto.
Kahlua is nutritious.
Ooh, it is nutritious. I'm very jealous. I need a drink.
But I have to drink something to celebrate the Cubs sweeping the Dodgers.
I'm not going to lie, I'm impressed. And with a whole new setup, with sound effects and all, everybody.
New producer.
Yeah, Mr. K, the good Reverend K. Fitz.
Thank you very much. Thank you. All right, I'll stop that.
Yep. Oh man, I got a feeling
that's coming high off that week yesterday though, because I live in Vegas and Dodger fans here are insufferable. So I literally get to walk around Las Vegas feeling like I'm hung like a horse for the next couple months.
Actually, yeah, I didn't even think about that. That's huge for you because you always talk about annoying ass Dodger fans.
Yeah, they're almost as annoying as.
We're gonna talk about the Cubs sweeping the powerhouse known as the Dodgers. That's huge. We're gonna talk about rule books. We're gonna talk about extra inning rules. We're gonna talk about Albert Pujols. We're gonna talk about Kris Bryant. We're gonna talk about mystery teams. We got a jam-packed show for you this week, everybody. So strap it down and let's tap this keg. As always, the show is brought to you by PointsBet. Make sure you're downloading the app. I think still in Illinois, you got to go to the casino because the fat man made it so. But go and get PointsBet app. Use Pinwheels as the promo code. And, PointsBet. Use that. I've been PointsBetting the shit out of I like pick a game every day, pick a guy and PointsBet it. It's been pretty lucrative so far.
Nice little win on Monday or Tuesday.
Yeah.
Dylan
Cease, man. Took Dylan Cease to future DH Dylan Cease. Took Dylan Cease to Kev, I don't know if you muted yourself or what, but we can't hear you, bud.
That wasn't me this time. So.
Yeah.
What? You can't hear me?
Now we can.
Oh, yeah. No, I wasn't talking.
I thought you said something after I said future DH Dylan Cease.
Oh, no. I stopped myself. Showed restraint, really.
So let's start with what we've been tweeting about today. I think a lot of people are tuning in, or should we wait for that? Because people are tuning in for it.
I think we should make them suffer a little bit.
Yeah, if we could talk about Tony La Russa for a little bit.
Suffer through our banter a bit.
So I want to get this out of the way. We did an emergency show about Luis Roberts, so we don't need to cover that injury. Actually, some decent news came out. I guess a couple of other hip flexor specialists have come out and said there's a good chance he plays this season, which, I mean, it could be the doctor from The Simpsons for all I know. I don't know who these doctors are.
Dr. Nick Riviera?
Hey, everybody. Robert can play. I don't know.
I'm surprised we haven't seen that meme yet.
I don't know who these doctors are. We'll see what happens. He's out.
A learned doctor. It's a house of learned doctors. Really.
Bottom line, with Eloy out and Robert out, the White Sox got to find 5 wins because that's a combo of 5 WAR on the bench right now, or in heaven, depending on what meme you look at. And they are pretty fun though. And so the White Sox had a little 2-game, little getaway series against the Reds. Red hot Reds offense, top offense in baseball. I didn't know they were that good. When they showed that graphic of where their offense is and like this is not a Bears show, major statistical categories. It just said first. We do have a Bears podcast now. It's called Club Dub. Make sure you check them out. I think they are on Wednesday nights. Those boys are very happy about Justin Fields. And he can't play center field. That joke's been beaten.
He can play shortstop though.
That's been
shortstop
beaten to death already too. But yeah, Cincinnati's offense, first in every major category pretty much for NL teams. And Dylan Cease takes the hill on Tuesday night, fresh off of, arguably his best start of the season. And Dylan showed up to work, fellas. Locating fastball, hammer curveball, tight slider, swag on the mound too. That's the big thing. A lot of these different shows and everybody's talking about like Dylan Cease doesn't have that same attitude as Michael Kopech where it's like, fuck you, you're out. You know what I mean? Like, and he doesn't. He's always been a very timid guy. I've talked to him in person. He's a like super soft-spoken guy, whatever. And he's never had, that like killer attitude, like that Michael Jordan attitude that we love in Chicago. And we saw a little bit on Tuesday. He started going out the gate hot. And there has been no secret on the show that I am a fan of the DH. I want the universal DH, but Tuesday was fun. And this one-off occasion, just like when people say, oh, you could draft a quarterback in the 9th round, look at Tom Brady. That's 1 out of a million. This is a 1 out of a million thing where I'll say this. Tuesday was fun. Dylan Cease, I did not know he played shortstop in high school. Apparently he was a pretty good hitter too. And then all of a sudden,
in batting practice.
Yeah, and then but apparently in high school he was shortstop, and then he showed up to practice one day and was hitting 96 on the gun, and they're like, "Yeah, you go on the mound now. You're done at short, bud." But Dylan showed up on Tuesday night, went 3 for 3, and they weren't cheap hits. First one was
he almost hit an opposite field home run.
Yeah, the first one was a super high chopper to third, but it was super important because there was first and second with 2 outs. He loaded the bases. TA came up, hit a nice base hit, got 2 runs in, helping yourself out. Next at bat, not only did he almost hit opposite field, he showed bunt, pulled it back, and then hit the wall on a fly. And then the third one was just a nice rip opposite field again. But 11 strikeouts against the top offense in the National League, 3 for 3 at the dish. Sox smoked the Reds and shut them out. It was a great game. Awesome game. People feeling pretty good. It was a good first game after a Luis Robert injury news. Like, all was well. And then fucking Wednesday happened.
Holy shit!
Yes. then Wednesday happened.
So
Day game. I don't know what the White Sox records are in the day. I can look that up in a minute here, but it seems like they're not good during the day games. And it was Sonny Gray who came in with an ERA like a tick under 5 versus Dallas Keuchel, who apparently the new conversation on White Sox Twitter is Keuchel the 5 now, which I think he actually is. I don't know. Whatever. Our pitching staff is amazing. And the White Sox couldn't hit. Finished the game with 2 hits. Lost in 10 innings, 1-0. Terrible at-bats. You had Hamilton in center, Lurie in left. Lurie in right, just because Eaton apparently has a bruise on his. If you play the outfield for the White Sox, you're hurt. You're hurt. And it was a really, really, just a really tough game to sit through. Jose Abreu played his ass off at first base, made a lot of really good defensive plays, but nobody was hitting. That, before we talk about anything else that happened in this game, that's your headline for the game on Wednesday. White Sox got 2 hit, lose 1-0.
Wait, did something else happen during the game?
Yes. But that I just want to make that point. Like, what we're about to talk about doesn't even become a factor if the White Sox hit even normally, like decently normal. You know what I mean? Like, They shouldn't even be in that situation. Sonny Gray is not a good fit. Sonny Gray's cheeks this year.
Which is strange because he's always been good.
That's why I was surprised going into the game. I always look at the pitching matchups. I didn't know Sonny Gray had a just under 5 ERA. Like he's been getting knocked around.
I think because we all remember like he was like amazing in 2019. Then last year he got a little worse, and now he's kind of a little more worse. So yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, he's getting knocked around a little bit, and I was like, okay, that ballpark is a track, so they're gonna do okay. Like, whatever. And then to not be hit was kind of weird. But I'm trying to look up Sonny Gray here. After the game with the Sox,
look up Sonny Bono. It's a difference.
His ERA dropped a whole point. He's a 3.92 now. But so we get into extra innings, and it's just a complete clusterfuck. Complete clusterfuck. There's no part of my language, whatever. There's no other way to describe it. It's a clusterfuck. First off, due to a misunderstanding of what a new rule is, an amended new rule is, Tony La Russa put Liam Hendricks on as the runner at second base. We've later come to find out that he could have put Jose Abreu there as the runner. The rule was amended because the game was in a National League park. I don't want to turn this into a whole thing. I really don't. We don't need to spend 20 fucking minutes on this. He's a manager. He should know the rules. His bench coach should know the rules. One of the coaches in that dugout should know the rule. They get paid a lot of money to know the fucking rules. Did I know the rule? No. Do I get paid a lot of money to know the rules? No. And what made it kind of worse was James Fagan, who he did his job. He did nothing wrong. Asked Tony if he knew the rule and kind of explained the rule to him. And some people were giving Fagan shit like he was being like an asshole about it. I think he was doing – I think James Fagan is arguably the best beat writer the White Sox have.
He's been very objective. Very objective.
Yes. And
very objective.
And I think he did a really good job. He didn't do it like an asshole. He wasn't like aggressive or anything. He's just kind of like, hey, Tony, like, did you know that you could have done this? And Tony straight up was just like, no, I didn't know the rule. I didn't know the rule. I didn't know the rule, and I give him credit for owning it. Like that's okay, but
I'm sorry to interrupt, but I do want to say, like, yes, we keep saying like, I mean, it's good that he owned up to mistakes, but like, this is the fourth time.
But you also got to say this. This is extremely weird for Tony La Russa because in his previous stints as a manager, Tony La Russa was the one that told you that you were wrong every time, no matter what. Like he knew the game. So this is weird that Tony La Russa now has openly admitted a few times that
it's the fourth time.
Yeah,
he's like,
I
don't know what I was doing.
That tells me also that you got a guy that's trying to relearn the game in a sense, and that I don't know. That makes me wonder. Like, is it worth it to let one of the best managers of all time settle and get their feet wet and figure out the modern game and then get going, or is it? I mean,
right.
You don't want to waste too much. Or is it too much?
I do want to say about the rule stuff. And I know like there was a whole argument like the rule is stupid, like just like the extra innings is stupid. Like but it's the rule. But this is the second time where like a rule thing has been an issue because like remember there was like I think it was the first week when there was the 20-second replay. You had to decide if you wanted to replay in 20 seconds, where like last year was 30 seconds or something. And they're like, oh yeah, like we didn't realize that we only had this amount of time. So you would have thought like after that, it's like, all right, guys, just have a quick refresher here. Here are all the rules you're going to need to know.
Right.
You would have thought, and again, because like he only needs to know this specific runner on second for extra base pitcher rule, like 9 games this year. Because every other game is going to be played with a DH.
Well, yeah, and to your point exactly, although you're going
somebody should have been like, hey guys, we're playing 2 games in Cincinnati just in case you guys are in extra innings. This could happen.
100%. So
that the White Sox should now have to hire specifically a driver for Tony La Russa and a rule book expert.
Well, isn't that what's his face is supposed to be?
The bench coach, Miguel Cairo.
That's kind of their job.
But yeah, and I mean, although I couldn't agree with you more, I mean, hey guys, just a quick heads up, National League Park, so couple things are different. I mean, even in 16-inch softball, when you go and play in a park, like the ump pulls the captains aside. It's like, hey, I don't know if you guys have played at this park before. That tree is dead ball. That's this. That's this. Okay, you guys get it. Let's go. Like, I don't know. The thing that sucks. Well, hold on. Let me finish about the game. So Hendricks on second, and then it was just a comedy of errors, and then Lurie does like a swinging bunt thing and gets Hendricks a third, and Lurie's on first. And then I'm more mad that they sent Lurie.
Awful.
I'm more mad that they sent Lurie. And I'm sitting here, I'm like, there's no way a coach sent him. He did that on his own. Like, fuck him. That's so stupid. No, he was sent.
Like for every move, you can always be like, oh, well, there's a chance that this could have happened, or there's like maybe a reasoning. Even if you can like disagree with it all you want, but like maybe there's like some sort of reasoning where like, all right, I guess maybe. There was like zero reason why you would send Lurie Garcia with Billy Hamilton at the plate, with the infield in, with your closer as the runner at third base.
Right.
And the 2-1 count, too.
Yeah.
Because if they ran 2-2, runner's safe because the ball was in the dirt.
Right. And Hendricks didn't even flinch either. He didn't even flinch. Like he didn't even like make a motion towards home. So
because that wasn't going to be a thing. Yeah, right. Like, there's no way they were going to pull off the let's just send him to second because we can get the runner from third in. And no, you have your closer at third base.
And can I say this too, guys? Let's be honest here. The first and third situation is great when you're 12 years old and you're coaching Little League. Right. These are professional baseball players. The first and third double steal stops when you're 14. We don't do that at the high school level. Like first and third steal is legitimately the Little League stuff. And I saw people that were actually upset that Hendricks was on third because he could have scored when they threw down the second. I'm like, no, that's not that hard to make a throw across the diamond.
Right. I don't think he could have scored, but I think any type of an experienced base runner at least flinches towards home to make the catcher for a split second think about holding the ball. It's just, I know it's not a big deal, but like it could have been the difference. But Lurie did have the green light. He was sent. And I don't know. And then the White Sox lose. Well, then that's the other thing. Hendricks comes in and gets absolutely tagged, and the White Sox lose 1-0. The good takeaways from this series: White Sox played the best offense in the National League, gave up 1 run in 19 innings.
Stupendous pitching.
Ridiculous. From Cease and Keuchel.
And we talked about it. Yeah. We talked about it on Monday with the Robert injury. And it's like, people were panicking. It's like, no. You guys are like, obviously it sucks losing like 2 of your like top 4 hitters or whatever. But like this pitching staff is fucking nails.
Yeah. So speaking of which, right now, as far as ERA is concerned, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. White Sox are 6th best in baseball in ERA. And then on Cool Whip, they're top 10 there. You know what I'm saying? Like they're a very, very good team right now, pitching wise, and that's including the bullpen. So, the thing that's lame, and I kind of wanted Kevin here for this, but whatever. La Russa messed up.
I'm here. I just spilled. I'm cleaning up.
No.
Hopefully not on all that new shit.
You're right. Yeah, not on your roadcast.
No, but my crotch.
But then all of White, so there was like no middle ground, and it got really annoying really fast. Like the people that defend La Russa, the people that defend La Russa blindly were defending him, and it made them say some really stupid shit. And some really smart people that I know are smart people when it comes to baseball were saying some really dumb shit about it. And then the people that want La Russa gone and saw this as an opportunity to like further their agenda, I don't know. It just got a little out of control. Like, I was pissed. I was pissed at Lurie going. I was pissed at him not knowing the rule. I was pissed that the White Sox didn't hit. I was pissed at all of those things. But like, it got really weird to the point where I just was like, I put my phone in my back pocket and just started playing the show because I was like, this is dumb. I'm done doing this for a while. It's just, I get it. And Kevin, kind of to your exact point that you brought up earlier, if the White Sox are at full strength and the team is flowing, there's a lot bigger room for a 76-year-old manager to learn some of the new rules on the fly.
Mhm.
That's not the case anymore. They lost 2 of their best players. The team's in an absolute dogfight for the division, and it looks like it's going to be this way the entire season. And that's not even including the Twins, who you know is going to figure it out. And his lack of understanding of the modern game, which, again, if you think Tony La Russa doesn't know baseball, then that's just dumb. That's a bad take. But there's things that have changed. And if the lack of understanding of the things that have changed are going to cost the White Sox wins, which I am not in any way, shape, or form of saying Jose Abreu running at second base yesterday changes that outcome of that game. Mm-hmm. But I'm just saying the fact that he didn't know the rule is – I'm not mad at it. I'm just more concerned about it.
It's just like the little things.
Right.
It's like they just keep compiling and
but the thing is too that and you look at it with again the old guy, and this you make a good point, Zoe, because there's different degrees of the Tony La Russa thing.
Yes,
I find myself I'm exhausted because I'm again I come across as I know some people would say I'm a Tony La Russa defender, but I really spend most of my time trying to using my mind as a coach trying to figure out why he would have done what he did. So a lot of the stuff that I say out loud, especially, is almost me thinking out loud, well, maybe he thought that this was a blankety blank. Maybe he did. And in the end, if you're going to spend the rest of the season, either criticizing Tony La Russa or defending Tony La Russa, you're going to be exhausted by July. I dare you to try to have the stamina to try to do that the whole season because it's exhausting. It's not a 60-game season. You're going to be upset. But you really want to sit back and why would he make this move? I'm looking at the whys, and I look at the old school game. And you look at an old school guy that has been around, and I know we like to throw around he's forgotten about as much baseball as we'll all know in our whole life, but he hasn't learned this modern game as much. And I think that he's a very intelligent guy. He may look slow and dangerous behind the wheel. He still can serve a purpose. And I think that he is learning the game as it is modern game. But here's my question to White Sox fans is we know what Tony La Russa, when he's on his game, can be capable of as a manager. By the way, let's be honest, managers are worth about maybe 2 wins plus or minus an entire season over the course of time.
I'm getting nervous though that he might be worth.
But it balances out over the course. It's like saying someone's hitting one. It's hey, do you think what's his name? Do you think Lindor is going to really hit 180 all season? No, they're going to figure it out over time, and it's going to balance out over 162. But he's learning, he's screwing up. Again, old Tony La Russa, having been a Cub fan, watching Tony La Russa as long as I have, Tony La Russa never apologizes or admits mistakes. He tells you why you're wrong, that he's right. And this whole thing of him doing it, he's learned. I think again, if this stuff's happening in June, there's huge issues. I don't take super issue. Again, the stolen base, I take issue with because the running count. I don't take issue with a rule snafu because we probably don't know how many times during the course of a baseball season, managers, whatever, forget certain things about a rules. And they cover it up. Sometimes winning masks it all. You might never notice it. Or sometimes it doesn't happen to be so. I honestly, be honest, White Sox fans, there's a gigantic microscope over everything that Tony La Russa does. Mm-hmm. So literally if he farts in the dugout, which I bet you he's a farter in the dugout, by the way.
He definitely is a farter in the dugout.
Him and Luis Robert fart a lot. The Domino's pizza for sure. But I see a guy that's learning the modern game, but he's not it's again. I'll be honest with this. This is something that I actually kind of take offense with. White Sox, the anti Tony La Russa ones are the same people that I've seen being very socially conscious, during the offseason about a million different things. Yet they're very ageist right now. A lot of the insults on Tony La Russa have nothing to do with his managerial style and everything to do with the fact that he's an old guy, old senile, old fool. Get out of here, old man. That's disrespectful. That's ageist. That's inappropriate as well. Go ahead and critique the guy on his managerial stuff. He's still fucking sharper than half of the dumbasses that are talking about him out there. I don't give a shit what they say. You might not think he is, but dude, he might be slow and deliberate with how he talks, but the dude is not he's not senile. He is, though, learning the game. And I think that you have to take it. So it really is a rough situation for the White Sox because of the expectations and then who the guy is. But I personally would want a very knowledgeable and ready to go Tony La Russa in June, July, August, and September when the White Sox can pull away. Then I would want, you can lose the season in April. I'm not minimizing it. And I'm not trying to defend Tony La Russa. again, I'm just trying to I guess I'm trying to put it in perspective that this guy's coming back to the game after being out a decade or decade plus, and sea legs take a while, just like hitters are taking a while to get hot. He's taking a while to catch up. And this is why he was supposed to, we talked about it in the offseason. The bench coach for Tony La Russa may be the most important hire that the White Sox make, because that person's going to have to be in his pocket and making sure that they double check his work, because things are different. And the more they change the game, whether it's just 20 seconds instead of 30 seconds, or now you can have which I think it's stupid. The whole thing with, extra innings is stupid, but now you're going to adapt. You have to adjust the lineup too. Instead of the ninth guy on the lineup card, now if it's a pitcher, you can go to the eighth guy. Like, this is weird to me. And it's if you keep changing the game so often, this is going to become more normal than it's going to be rare that these managers might miss something, because this is a game that doesn't change very often. This is a game that doesn't change but every 50, 60 years. And they're making all of these drastic changes over the next, over a couple of short years. It ends up going on. Yeah, it's kind of funny, but it ends up going on.
Read that. You got to read that, Kevin. What did that say?
It says bad managers. Oh wait, no, excuse me. I'm not defending TLR. Then goes on a TLR. I'm not defending TLR, but I am defending the dude's right to get his sea legs. But I'm also defending how you can why he, again. Most of my stuff is, why did you make that decision? Why would you run in a 2-1?
Here's the deal, dude. I don't care who you are. Time waits for no man, and La Russa's not immune to what happens to people when they turn 76. It just happens, dude. I'm not trying to pull on a parade here or anything like that, but he's almost 80, dude.
He's younger than our president right now, and he doesn't have his finger on the nuclear bomb button. Just
here's the thing.
I don't give a fuck about that.
Here's the thing. The same way that where we talk about Jose Abreu needs to step it up, or Yasmani Grandal. It's nice that he walks, but he needs to start fucking hitting, or whoever was starting Yohan Moncada. Hey, loved your fucking music video. How about you hit? He has Moncada. Moncada's starting to get hot. Tony La Russa. Hey, let's get fucking going here.
Right.
But at the same time, all this, whatever fans say, whatever is happening on Twitter, that doesn't matter. What matters is what's happening inside the clubhouse. And we had not one, but two stories in the past week from ESPN's Jeff Passan and then Ken Rosenthal from The Athletic.
Right.
Both citing sources saying they're starting to get some frustration inside the clubhouse.
You know what that confirms, Aldo? That there are rats in the clubhouse.
Well, to that point,
out of the clubhouse sanctum. That means there are rats in the clubhouse.
Just because you disagree.
Ball club. What happens in the clubhouse stays in the clubhouse. That is one of the most important rules.
Haven't you been relaying stuff from your source for the past months? Are you calling your guy a rat?
Specific with what I say,
but. To the other side of the coin, Jose Abreu came out and said that he has nothing but respect for Tony La Russa. He has no reason to believe that Tony cannot get them through this tough time with the injuries. And Jose Abreu, I would consider to be the captain of the team, him and Tim Anderson. So you don't know, what's going on there. And both of the stories said that.
And Alex is right. The Ken story was actually pretty balanced.
Yeah, and it's not all going to be perfect. And the thing about the series with Kansas City now this weekend, which is a very important series, is Cleveland's in first place now.
Mm-hmm. Is everybody in first place right now?
No, Cleveland's in first. Sox are a half game out, then Kansas City's a game out, and then Minnesota's 6 games out, and then Detroit's season's they're done unless they go on
I think it's going to start this weekend where the real decline of the reals is going to start.
Yeah. And it is what it is. It's just, I have nothing but respect for Tony La Russa's career and what he's done. I just think a lot of this could have been avoided.
Just from coming from an outside perspective and not really caring about Tony La Russa as a person or the manager or whatever.
Right.
But just, I saw Mr. Aloha Mr. Hand's video. I think it was from yesterday, and he was saying how at the end of it, he was love it. Love the passion. You're saying like, and we've talked about this before too, how like it seemed, or like there was the talk of like, more White Sox fans just want to be right than like to see the team win.
Right. Oh,
I don't know about, like, I get it, but I think like one of the points he was saying is like, they'd rather be right about Tony La Russa not being the guy than seeing the Sox win. And like, it's taking away the enjoyment of you rooting for the team. But I think it's like, that joy is getting taken away because Tony La Russa keeps like doing these things.
Dude.
Yes.
And Alex, by the way, posts in here. This is one of the problems that you've mentioned the Abreu interview, but some people say, "Oh, it doesn't matter. Abreu is nice to everybody, so I don't want to take it for what it's worth." That's also a problem because even in the face of someone actually saying, "Look, there's no problem here," they're not going to believe that there's no problem there.
I mean, Jose Abreu is playing every day. I don't think Abreu is going to have a problem with Tony La Russa right now. So again, I don't know how. Like again, there's people questioning the stories, and again, I do think it's a little overblown. White Sox are like started last week or this week, like in first place.
Yeah, they're half game out of first, and they have the highest run differential in the American League.
I did say about the offense though, just getting away from the La Russa thing.
Please.
I forget what year it was for the Cubs. I forget if it was 17 or 18, where the Cubs had like one of the top offenses in the league, but they were so fucking inconsistent. They'd go 1-2 games, go like 10, 9, 8 runs, and then bam, a straight week of like 3 shutout, 1 run, 2 runs. I'm kind of seeing a lot from the Sox about this.
Yeah, I mean, the good thing about the Sox though is they have a top 3 pitching staff, starter to closer. And I know everyone right now, Hendricks stinks because he fucked up in the 8th inning, but look at his stats to compare to other closers. I mean,
compared to a former White Sox closer.
Well, yeah, that guy's just done. But they'll get on a roll, dude. It's all good. Like, the pitching staff's good. They have the highest run differential in the American League, second in all of baseball, only to the Dodgers, and the Cubs kind of brought that number closer. And I mean, I'm not saying that I think this is gonna force the hand to make a move. And we talked about some of the trade targets out there, but they did go out and they signed Brian Goodwin, who was dropped. And you know what? Brian Goodwin last year in 20 games, 50 at-bats, not his best season last year, but the year before that in Anaheim, 109 at-bats, batted .242 with a OBP of 793. He can go a little bit. In 2019, he had 17 homers. You know what I mean? Like, he's not.
He's better than
Jake Lamb.
Well, I mean him, and I mean there's like multiple guys. Like,
yeah,
it was
the fact that I had to think about it tells you something.
I know there was like, it was a cute little story in the first couple weeks. Billy Hamilton getting some. He has a 6 WRC.
The thing about Billy Hamilton and Jake Lamb is Billy Hamilton serves a purpose on a good team. He still has
outfielder,
right? But he still has wheels.
Yes.
So like he's a very good pitch runner. Billy Hamilton serves a purpose. Jake Lamb serves zero purpose on this team. Zero. And I'm not even going to say his fucking name because I'm not going to give him that credit. But he threw up something like, "Oh, well, look at his OBP. If you guys want to say that Yasmani Grandal is doing okay, even though he's not hitting." Jake Lamb has an OBP of 357. That's because in the one game when they were playing Cleveland, homeboy couldn't hit the ocean with a baseball, and Jake Lamb just stood there and took 4 straight pitches and walked to first base. So I don't know. I'm going to go ahead and throw it down. I'm hashtag done with Jake Lamb. I'm hashtag done with Jake Lamb. It's just, and for those of you that are and for those of you that are new to the show, when I'm hashtag done with someone, I hope they do well, but I'll never like get psyched up for it. And Larry Garcia serves a purpose too.
Yeah. Don't
get me wrong. He's just not a starter.
Yeah. Like Larry Garcia, like perfect, but he can't be a guy who's starting like 4 or 5 times a week.
No, he's not a starter. And I mean, now that
same thing with Billy Hamilton. Yeah.
You call Danny Mendick back up, Jake Lamb really serves no point on this team.
Well, I think the move is going to be when Goodwin comes up because they have to bring him up because you can't have. I mean, I guess Billy Hamilton still can play defense, still can run. But that dude cannot be starting half the time.
No, and Jake Lamb's just got to go, man. it's done, dude. I'm so done with Jake Lamb. It's like
I think that one's well overdue.
it's not even like funny anymore. It's just like what are we doing here? We're supposed to be a World Series contending team, and we have Jake Lamb in the starting lineup.
Like maybe it was funny, like in the first weeks when you still had Luis Robert healthy, but when you lose him, and it's like no, we need to start actual MLB caliber hitter,
right?
Like then it starts to become less funny.
So the White Sox, though, they do have some really important games coming up in the division here.
Oh, what a shout out from the Yumper comparing Jake Lamb to Nephi Perez. I think that was 06 era Cubs with Dusty Baker. Oh my
3,
God.
6, 10. The next 13 games for the White Sox are Kansas City and Minnesota. I mean, this is like to Kevin's earlier point. You can't necessarily win your division in April and May, but after these 13 games, you can definitely make it very, very hard for yourself to win the division, or make it really easy for yourself.
Yeah, I was gonna say because especially the Twins, the Twins, you can just like stomp the Twins right now.
Right, and the good point is it's not good. I never root for injuries, but Twins arguably one of their best pitchers. Mayada isn't pitching against; he's hurt. So the Sox avoid that. Against Kansas City Friday, you got Rodon, Lynn, and then Giolito on Sunday versus Keller, Lynch, and Minor. Kansas City's pitching staff has been cheeks, so I'm not worried. Like, you need to score runs though, and then against the 3 at home versus Minnesota, Cease, Keuchel, Rodon. Let's go.
Just gets extra innings. Guaranteed win.
I mean, and Minnesota's throwing Happ, Pineda, and Shoemaker. I mean, like, oh no, he's the probable Sunday, not hurt. Okay, I thought he was hurt, but that's fine. Win these games, man. Like, Kevin, you said it earlier, winning cures all and hides all. I'll tell you what, White Sox come out of Kansas City winning 2 out of 3. No one's talking about La Russa now remembering the fucking rule. I will. When people try to shove them down my throat, I'll be like, well, hopefully you learned the rules by now. But yeah, just win, dude. I mean, they're going to have to – I think they might – you can argue that they have the best starting pitching staff in baseball right now, yes. With the emergence of Dylan Cease, I mean, and you're kind of getting middle of the road Lucas Giolito right now too. I mean, he's not so bad. I'm going to tweet his dad, but like you're getting middle of the road Lucas Giolito right now.
Ask is how bad does Giolito have to get until you tweet his dad?
Never. I would never do that.
No, it's not even middle of the road. Giolito, I think he has like his ERA is near 5.
Yeah, I mean, he's struggling. He had that really, really bad start in Boston.
That one
really, really pumped the numbers. He's been all right. It just seems like
he's had the issue of high pitch counts.
Right. It's like the 5th or 6th inning usually. It gets to him and it slips out a little bit. Like right now, Giolito, where's he at? Why is this showing me his batting? I don't care about his batting.
You gotta see if he can also DH.
Oh yeah, he's at a 5 ERA, 4.99 with a 130 WHIP. I mean, his K to walk ratio is 41-13 though, with a 12 K per 9. He's still striking guys out. It's just like what Aldo said though, that pitch count is getting up there, and who is in the conversation with the White Sox? Let's go to the statistics.
I mean, I don't know. Just going off like this is definitely biased, but like I just feel like the Brewers.
Well, keep guessing. And,
Brewers. I mean, Cleveland. Cleveland is winning because of their pitching staff, except for that one dude, McKenzie.
Team ERAs. Number 1, San Diego. Number 2, the Yankees. Number 3, the Dodgers. Number 4, the Mets. Number 5, the Miami Marlins.
Oh my goodness.
Number 6, the White Sox. But San Diego, Darvish, Blake Snell, Musgrove, those dudes. San Diego's got the best pitching staff, I think, for my money. I don't know. And then Yankees, I was actually kind of surprised to see them up here.
I love you, Yankees. My dad's mayor. Sorry.
I'm surprised.
It's stuck in my head for like a week.
I'm surprised the Dodgers and Mets are up there. The Cubs are 6-0 against them.
Well, the Dodgers are up there. I mean, Kershaw, that was bad Kershaw at Wrigley Field. Like,
that's the worst I've ever seen Clayton.
Yeah, that was really bad.
That was his shortest outing ever.
But Dodgers just took a huge hit though with May, his arm falling off.
We know who to blame, right? we know who actually is to blame for the Dodgers.
Nick Madrigal?
No, Bob Nightingale, when they were 14-3, said that they are picked to have one of the best seasons in history. He literally said, "Gulp." He even like used a comma, "gulp," in his post about how well the Dodgers are playing and how on a record-setting pace. And since then, they're like 3-14. So White Sox fans, don't get too comfortable with him reporting that Pujols isn't coming to the White Sox. You might be screwed. No, just kidding.
And then, well, the Mets, they're going to be up there just because, DeGrom alone, dude. Like, DeGrom pulls your team ERA down. He's just unbelievable. I mean, people need to realize, like, if the Mets are on TV and you can watch them and Jacob deGrom is pitching, you should watch it because that's a generational talent. Like, if you have a kid that's into baseball, like I was telling our friend Burns, I was like, dude, turn on this Mets game and let your son watch Jacob deGrom pitch because, like, this is like when you were a kid, like, he's unbelievable. The Marlins is a little bit of a shocker to me. Especially no Sixto, and like that's interesting.
These
okay,
teams just get arms.
And then San Francisco. Someone put in the comments, San Francisco. They're right after the White Sox.
That's a shock. That's such a shock to me. Like they're maybe the best surprise of 2021 so far.
Yeah, you know what? I like the Giants. Like,
I have no qualms. Been irrelevant since the NLDS,
since the Cubs killed their franchise in 2016.
But I mean, they're like a
powerhouse.
I know I've been listening a lot to the Starting Nine podcast from Barstool with Jared Carbis and Dallas Braden, but it's a really great national baseball show. If you guys, if you're looking for a national show, they do a fantastic job. But Carbis or whatever the fuck his name is, every time they talk about the Giants, he's just like, they're so boring. They're a boring team. Well, that boring team is 18-13.
They are here's the thing. They are kind of boring because, like, go down the lineup. Like, who do you know?
I'm looking right now.
Like, Posey, Belt.
Posey's coming back. He's having a good year. Evan Longoria is having a rough, not 282, but Posey's almost batting 400, dude.
Yeah, Posey's been fucking great.
Lamonte Wade Jr., Solano, Longoria, Tauchman, Duggar, Brandon Crawford. I know that one. Tommy
that
LaStella
trade, they just got him from the Yankees for like nothing.
Yep. Tommy LaStella, Brandon Belt, Mike, yes. Alex Dickerson. Wilmer Flores. I know that name.
You know how I remember Wilmer Flores?
He was on that 70s show.
He was close. he was. I forget the year, but he was on the field and he was crying because he was informed that he was getting traded.
That was him. I remember that for sure. All right, so I think we'll segue into this. So
talk about the West Coast and the National League, or just the West Coast?
No. I want to get to what we've been teasing all day. Like, we're 40 minutes into the show. I think we can get into it now.
I said West Coast.
So, for out of nowhere, really, I don't think anyone saw this coming. The Anaheim Angels of Los Angeles, California, Western Hemisphere, United States, whatever.
The funny thing is, they actually just changed it this year.
What is it now?
It's just the Los Angeles Angels.
Okay. Well,
they finally changed.
Well, they just straight up just cut Albert Pujols. They DFA'd him. They owe him $30 million, and they cut him. So, of course, right away, everybody's first reaction is, "Oh, well, Tony La Russa, White Sox need a bat." They don't need a bat. Maybe he'll go to the White Sox. And for national media reporters to be tweeting that out, I felt like that was a little irresponsible, a little reckless. Like, you're speculating, like, just a regular fan, which is fine. You have every right to, but like, to tweet that out, people think that there's going to be legs to that. And first of all, the White Sox have 52 first basemen and 160 H's. They don't need any more of either of those. They don't need to take on his contract, even though all they would have to do is pay him the prorated vet minimum. And then the Angels they're on the hook for the rest of that loot. But No, the only way I want Albert Pujols in a White Sox uniform is if he's the new bench coach.
No, I was gonna say like give him the rule book. He just said that's his only responsibility. That's your job. The rule book.
But Albert, dude, just retire, man.
No, I saw the perfect. No, he did. He doesn't need to retire. It's the perfect spot.
Where,
Colorado
Miami?
Rockies. Just give him every at bat in Colorado and see how many home runs he can hit.
There you go. I'm fine with that. But like, much respect to Albert Pujols. Talk about generational talent. Look up, yeah. I mean, he's really, really tight with Jose Abreu. Like when they played the Angels in the opening series, they made a big story about that. Like he's Jose Abreu's mentor, and they're very tight. And like, obviously Tony Russa is a Pujols' mentor. Like, I'm fine with him like being in the White Sox front office or coaching staff in some way, shape, or form. Totally cool with that. No, he's not in the lineup. No.
Can play center field.
Yeah. Unless we're getting rookie Albert Pujols who can play left field.
Very spry.
Yeah. But then also, well, Kev, I'll let you because you're the one that has the info on this. So.
Sure. Well, I mean, in the Tony La Russa stuff, it's been big drama today. The Pujols thing kind of sucks because obviously the dude's doing the farewell tour. Sounds like he wasn't getting much. They were going to start limiting his playing time, so he asked out. So I mean, I was a little upset at first thinking about Pujols, not getting to do, as much as he killed the Cubs. The dude is one of the best baseball players of our generation, and he's a really respectful guy. He's a good human being.
Does a ton of charity work.
The work that he does with Down syndrome children, especially, stands out to me. He's a very good human, and so the fact that this came to a point where instead of getting his farewell tour, he's on a dead last baseball team, and he's not going to get the farewell tour. Possibly that he really has deserved. He deserves to get to say goodbye to every major league ballpark and get a standing ovation, whether it's full capacity or not. The guy has earned that as one of the best players of our generation, a Hall of Famer, greatness in our presence. As much as he killed the Cubs.
Sign him.
But that kind of sucks. And so with the Angels, it makes a little sense because the next segue to this is that I was informed today, and I spoke to one person who kind of turned me on to it. And then I like to try and make sure that I call around to my people again, to dispel the rumor that everybody thinks that the only person I talk to in baseball is Mike Bryant is one of those ignorant things that you don't realize where I live and where I coach.
Yeah, that's not true.
People that I coach. The fact is that I could basically throw a pair of die here in Las Vegas and hit a major leaguer or a former major leaguer or somebody that works in Major League Baseball. And as a baseball coach here in town that has won, not to toot my own horn, Nevada Coach of the Year twice.
Go ahead, go off,
King.
Go off, King.
I mean, what have I coached? 4 major leaguers now?
Come on, do the round of applause on the board.
The friendships and the relationships you built, whether it's a national cross-checker with a scout, whether it's someone that's the son of a former, GM. These are people that we talk to. And so, like, again, I have a friend that works in the Angels, a buddy that I actually coached against that now works in the organization. And so after I got a little tip on it, I went and called them as well and said, and what do you got? And the response was the same. It was,
for what? For best actor. Best actor. How's bragging camp going?
That's the part I want.
I get, but I feel like there's a misconception with me. Like the only person I talk to is Mike Bryant or Chris. Like it's not the case. I'm around a lot more.
Right.
You come out to our baseball diamond during a regular season. We've got 7 or 8 major leaguers working out here in Vegas. Anyway, so I contacted him and he confirmed that there's legitimate heat and smoke to this, but the Angels, at least in the last 48 hours, sometime in the last 48 hours or so, have called the Cubs and kicked the tires on a Kris Bryant trade. They have inquired. Obviously, it worries me about what's going on with Rendon's health as well. He's on the IL, but maybe there's a little more to that. But a lot of it has to do with the fact that the Angels also feel a little bit of pressure because the Dodgers have already been kicking the tires on Kris Bryant, and it's generally believed that if Kris Bryant is traded to a West Coast team, he's off the table probably permanently because he will extend and stay in the West Coast. He will play for Chicago, and then he will play for a warm weather team when he gets to choose. If it's not the Cubs, it's going to be a warm weather team. So Mets fans, Blue Jays fans, even though you're in a dome, sorry, Canada, you get a rental if you want. That's fine. But the Angels have kicked the tires, and the belief is that because the Angels now see the Dodgers kicking the tires, because the Dodgers already kicked the tires with KB last week. There's a reason why KB has been playing the outfield a little bit more than he normally does. He's logged now 11.
A lot more.
1,100.
He hasn't played third base since April 20th.
Yeah. So a lot of this happens to be a little bit of a showcase, and the Angels look at it and they say, okay, if the Dodgers land Kris, obviously they're not happy with Pollock. Kris is never going to leave LA. He'll finish his career in LA. Mm-hmm. The Angels now know that the only way to really guarantee that they would have a Kris Bryant, Joe Madden loves Kris. Kris loves Joe. I know that the Angels, if he couldn't play for the Cubs, Kris would absolutely love to play for the Angels. And I know like Padres fans like to throw out the USD thing. He loves San Diego, guys. He loves California too. He lives in Vegas, man. He used to go to Huntington Beach, just a 4-hour drive, man.
Big state.
Does he like Oakland?
So hold on, Kevin. Let's stop right there. Kevin, let's stop right there. I see a lot of people tuning in right now. And just to be very clear, there's been no like proposed trade. There's been no anything. It's just phone calls have been made is all that's coming out of this show.
Kicking the tires.
So
checking in with Jed. And now
yes.
Somebody else kind of like, and again, I got, when I look at some of my messages, I am hearing, that, let's see here. Chris Rodriguez is a potential target, but this is not anything that I've heard from anybody like that I spoke to. This is just somebody that sent me a DM.
Yeah, we're getting back into speculation, and I just saw half the audience leave, which is fine, but we're getting back into speculation.
Right into it, but I do know that the Angels have inquired. They called, they checked. And the biggest concern is that if they don't trade for KB before the Dodgers do, that they will miss their chance to grab KB. You're looking at an outfield, and again, a guy like Joe Madden that likes to utilize players that play different positions and moves around guys and likes to rest guys.
Buddy.
If you play for Joe Madden, you know that you're going to probably maybe play 140 to 145 games in a season because he likes to rest his players. So KB fits well into like the Joe Madden mentality because he can play all the positions. And so I think there's a genuine concern with the Angels that if they don't trade for KB ahead of the Dodgers, they're going to miss a chance to really find a replacement for a terribly performing Justin Upton out in the outfield. Someone that you could also probably see the Angels looking to maybe make a trade because he's still on the hook for another year next year for $28 million. You can find maybe a pay, like a salary share kind of thing where they get rid of that salary to bring Kris in to be in that spot. Again, look, this is near here nor there. Again, these are overtures. Yes. I know this, and this is what I can confirm 100%, is that Jed Hoyer has a number, or if you want to call it a number, Jed Hoyer has this is what it's going to take, and it's not you, Darvish. It's not the same thing. It's not even the same. It's apples and oranges when you compare the two. Jed has a number, and if nobody wants to hit the number, Jed is absolutely fine with either working for an extension with KB or taking the comp pick in what is considered to be the most talented major league draft in history, thanks to the pandemic and how they only had really, right. So many good ball players that if you have a third or fourth round pick, you're still picking basically second, third round talent. A comp pick, you're actually getting first round talent, which is far more than you would get for someone's prospect.
Let's chop this up a little bit. So, couple issues that we talked about when we discussed this before the show about a potential trade with the Angels. The Angels farm system is straight cheeks right now. Mm-hmm. They are ranked in the bottom third on MLB.com.
It's a one-guy farm system.
Yeah, it's literally Joe Adell and then
people soured on
guys.
You're soured on Adell.
Yeah, and
a lot of people, but the Chris Rodriguez guy is not. He's a pitcher.
I'm curious to see, and again, with the fact that it being a West Coast team, where I don't know if you know this, but our friend Mike Sox Summer used to live on the West Coast. He doesn't talk about that a lot.
Has he ever mentioned that before?
It's like Summer trying to get into that beach shape. You see him at the gym,
but
arms like those pythons.
The fact that when people talk about a Kris Bryant trade to the White Sox, the first thing that you say is, well, it's Kris Bryant for 4 months. Because you don't know if the White Sox will extend him. I don't know if Jerry will dig in the pocketbook. And the whole idea of Michael Kopech for Kris Bryant is a little...
White Sox fans are looking for... There's no quick fix for what's going on with the White Sox.
Right.
Players are not going anywhere when they're healthy.
And right. By the way, just
lock a guy up that's gonna
to interject here. Like I know that we like Sox fans being like, they did the Quintana trade and they traded Elo and Cease. Jed Hoyer, who runs things now, has like made it pretty clear he
did
was
not like
a
that
fan
trade.
of that.
He did not like that trade.
He did not want to do that trade. So I don't.
And
think
the only
he's gonna ask for a lot from the White Sox. Just
Yeah.
like, give me Season Eloy back, and we'll give you KB.
the only way that I would even entertain the idea to start thinking
Nick Madrigal.
about a Kopech to the Cubs for KB trade is if like an extension was guaranteed.
Yeah.
Kopech is going to be a very good pitcher in this league for a very long time. And if you trade that away for 4 months of Kris Bryant just for him to go on the West Coast when the season's over, that's pretty brutal. And I get that the Cubs did that with Aroldis Chapman and it got him a World Series. And I don't know. There's a lot to think about that.
Like,
and
I don't.
If Eloy and Robert are healthy and like I don't know, like let's just say in a made up world, like Eloy's healthy, Robert's healthy, but like
I hate that that's a made up
like
word.
but like let's just say like before the season started, like Eloy's healthy, Robert never gets injured, but like you start off with the DH, Vaughn hypothetically speaking, Vaughn isn't living it up. But like you still have a great team and you still feel you're that one piece away. I think that's the only scenario where you go all out for. But I mean, obviously that's not the case.
Right.
I've been meaning to ask Kevin this for a while.
Uh-huh.
And again, I don't know. This is again hypothetically speaking, is like who knows what the hell is going on with like the Cubs and with fucking Ricketts and what their plans are for after this year.
It's confusing.
But let's just say, it's like July, whatever. It's the middle of July. The Cubs they just don't have the pitching to compete. Like there's no real shot of like winning a World Series in 2021 for the Cubs. They go to Kris Bryant. Hey, Kris, we're trying to get like a huge package for you. We're going to trade you. Would Kris Bryant, would he be like, all right, cool. Like, let's just say it's just the Angels or whatever, West Coast team. We're going to get huge package for you. But would that be like the deal breaker of him like re-signing in the offseason?
And that's the thing I don't want to really like that. That's where
right.
I know I'm putting you on unfair spot here speculating. Yeah.
Yeah, I would draw the line where I would speak for Kris on that one. That one I can't really speculate on. I would love it. I would think it would be fantastic. Like if I was Kris, but I'm a diehard Cub fan, I would totally do it and then come back. Like, but yeah, it's not. But here's the thing. Kris loves Chicago. He's got roots now there. He's got a child. He's got a really sweet condo, by the way. Sweet. That overlooks. I won't. Okay, never mind. I won't say that because then people will know where to go.
yeah, let's not get the stalkers. And
oh yeah, right. But you look at the White Sox. And he likes Chicago, so like I can't say that a trade to the White Sox, even as a rental, wouldn't be a great thing for the White Sox. But I look at the White Sox. And I look at KB's situation, and I don't know if KB is their solution. I look at a guy like Justin Upton with like a salary cut like trade as maybe an opportunity because his contract is $28 million for next year. But if the White Sox were to go after Upton and get someone that can maybe play right field, left field, jump around, that maybe gets like you get the Angels to pay majority of his salary or whatever to get rid of it as a payroll dump, then that also frees up the Angels to make a move to go after KB. Like there's a weird thing that has to kind of fall into place, but I don't think that KB really wants to like get uprooted for a short amount of time. This is only me. Again, this is me. I'm not speaking for KB, but I know that as a human being, that would really be very disruptive to a routine. It's disruptive to your family life. It's disruptive to everything that you've created. So like, I feel like personally myself, as much as I would have do the other way, I feel like if KB is going to get traded, he's going to go somewhere and it's going to be something that he's going to probably extend. And that's why I think
I created that banner on the bottom just because other people in the media like to talk about that Kris doesn't like it here or some other bullshit. So
because he's not at the bars making an ass of himself.
Well, he doesn't drink, and that's fine. That's like the modern athlete now. A lot of these guys aren't pounding beers.
You say it when you say it 100 times, you need to say it 110 times to get that point.
But I look at whoever. If the Cubs do trade Kris, I think this is what also makes it so expensive. That's why I think when the Mets called and the Mets didn't call back, Jed said this is the price, and I think that if Jed is a quality, I'm pretty sure Jed's a stand-up dude. He does communicate with Kris a lot better than Theo did, which I almost like a little bit that as a fan, I like that Theo kind of kept that relationship professional and didn't communicate. He didn't tell anybody anything. Nobody knew dick with Theo. You wouldn't know it until you wouldn't know the knife was in your back until Theo's already walking away. Whereas with Jed's very communicative. He's very friendly. He's a very personable guy. I think that Jed probably tells these teams, look, just want to make sure we're upfront with this. This is what I'm asking for, but I'm just telling you that KB doesn't want to play in a cold weather city, so you got to take that risk. I think that he could actually tell Rick Hahn, KB loves Chicago, but I still think that Jed's price is way too high. The White Sox shouldn't pay it.
I got questions.
They shouldn't pay it. I don't think it's worth it.
I got Cubs questions for you guys. Again, I want to talk about this, and I don't want to go too long. The Cubs did just sweep the best team in baseball, like convincingly. That was a very nice series. Cubs sweeping the Dodgers. How long is Nico hurt for?
This is 10 days.
Another week.
Like a forearm strain.
Okay, good, because I picked him up in fantasy baseball. Someone
stolen right from Kevin.
Not in our league.
Not in our league. In a different league.
Crazy, Aldo. I would never release him.
I was going to say, holy shit, how did Kevin let that happen?
He's on my fantasy team forever.
But it seems like the Cubs offense is waking up a little bit. Though, I mean, obviously they knocked Kershaw all around. They slapped him silly, but again, that was brutal. What do you think has changed with regards to, well, pitching staff as well, for that matter? Like, what's been the biggest reason for this? The Cubs kind of turning it around a little bit.
Hey, real quick before we start, in honor of the Cubs sweeping the Dodgers, I am going to crack open a bottle of tequila that I bought in Cabo, actually not in Cabo, in Todos Santos, Mexico, that Dodgers fans would really appreciate and love. But I'm going to do a quick shot in celebration of the Cubs sweeping the Dodgers. So Aldo, go ahead and answer the question, but I want you guys to see this. This is a family tequila, whatever, I don't know what they call it, distillery, I don't remember, but this is yummy. And this guy made me buy it. So he also,
I like the name Liqueur.
And my man told me that he literally has 5 children from 4 women, and he's been married 4 times. And he's like, I'm not sure why I keep getting remarried. I'm like, well, I think we kind of put our finger on it.
And I mean, granted, I know Kris Bryant obviously returning to form. Yeah.
2 guys, free agents that were kind of under the radar. One guy that like a lot of people were surprised even made the opening day roster. But I think Kevin sent in like the stat of like his contact rate, like up there with Madrigal. Matt Duffy. Matt Duffy's been like, holy shit.
Well, you said the magic word, so I'm going to look it up now.
So Matt Duffy's been phenomenal, and he's been playing a lot of third base and like with Bryant out in the outfield for the past couple weeks. And then Jake Marisnick, who, you know, the Cubs signed, and it was a direct just like we don't want anything to do with Albert Elmore Jr. anymore. We want a guy who can like actually play really good defense, who is really fast.
There's 2 Matt Duffys that play third base. That's just
there's 2 Matt Duffys. What?
Yeah, 2 popped up. But go ahead. Sorry.
And then Jake Marisnick, and he's been hitting too. Jake Marisnick has been ridiculous. I think he has the second highest WRC plus on the team, right, Kevin, or something, or like third. Yeah. It's like KB, Marisnick, and Duffy.
We have 2 guys that have literally done everything they possibly can to stay in the lineup. And then you plug in another healthy Nico Horner. Those are 3 guys that are not 3 outcome players. And that's what the Cubs need: 3 non-3 outcome players in a lineup of 8. Really, we've talked about this before. You need to sprinkle in some actual back control guys in the middle of your 3 outcome guys, so that they actually have to pick their poison. And poison, oh my God, Matt Duffy's poison right now is so venomous. It's the kid last night tying the ball game up with that base hit to center. You know, in what was it, the 11th inning, the 10th inning, whatever it was. No, it's 11th. Hide it. And then obviously Rizzo with the clutch, you know, little seeing eye ground ball, in the 6 hole. It's incredible that, again, gotta give Jed Hoyer some credit. Look, we thought Ian Happ was going to be God this year. We thought he was going to pick up where he left off last year. Ian struggled a little bit. Maybe this injury is going to help kind of like reset the mechanism for him. But I know, and I don't want to ever I'm not going to dog Ian Happ. Dude's a stand-up guy. He's been a lot more social on social media and his podcast and stuff. And all of a sudden, you feel like you go to the bathroom.
His whiff rate's only 8.7% right now.
That's that's right. He's third in the major league.
I mean, it's not Nick Madrigal numbers, but it's almost there.
Well, you know who didn't strike out yesterday?
But you have
Nick Madrigal. There's a bullshit call.
Matt Duffy did strike out. Never mind.
But you have these guys that are actually able to do the job, and Marisnick too, man. Jock was the big name. Honestly, if I'm looking at this, I can't. How do you not play Duffy and Marisnick almost every day. The way that it's almost like disrespectful to like their effort because they're playing so well. Like you have to play the hot hand. And I think David Ross, bless his heart, is now finally starting to get it. And he's not also tied to that lefty righty. Have you noticed we've had a lot left lefty righty stuff too? He's just playing the guys that are playing well right now. You play the hot hand, and look what happens. I mean, they blew that game. I mean, now the biggest problem is can the pitching staff hold a lead and keep someone under double digits? Because the Cubs the other day in that Cincinnati game, my God, like Ian's homer, Kris hit 2 homers, did Javi hit a homer, Rizzo hits a homer. They score 12 runs and lose in a game that they battled back multiple. That's a deflator. But then in the Dodgers series, this Cubs team is showing a ton of fight and coming back in 2 different games in just the Dodgers series. Not only did they come back from an extra inning deficit, they walked off after an extra inning deficit both times. That's a good thing. And it was done with not homers. No, Jock Peterson liked to pimp that fly ball yesterday, flipped his bat and puffed his chest to a sack,
that was power. Brutal, dude. That was fucking brutal.
I blame the wind.
Seeing eye ground ball and the line drive to center, the hard, it's not a high, it's a high exit velocity, but not a great launch angle. It's a line drive. It's squared up baseball. And that Cubs lineup needed that. It was too many 3 outcome guys top to bottom. And now you've got 2 right now. And then when Nico comes back, 3 guys that handle the stick very differently than those big sluggers. That's made the difference. Now, just David, honestly, this Cubs team, if they actually had like maybe a Cy Young caliber starter,
just imagine.
It would be really nice to have that. Oh, wait, never mind.
Just imagine if the Cubs could pair up Kyle Hendricks with like a top 2 pitcher in the National League.
Like a Darvish.
Like a Yu Darvish, let's just say as an example.
You would be a great acquisition.
God damn it.
For him on the trade market.
There's an old guy pitching pretty good for Washington too.
John,
he doesn't look terrible.
He's been like Arrieta's basically been the same as Lester. I mean, Lester like barely has 2 starts. But I do want to bring up another reason that the Cubs have been better offensively. I mean, we shit on him and deservedly so because he was fucking awful. So like last 15 days, Javier Baez slashing 310, 326, 667, 4 homers.
And apparently he can start fights and then get the other guy suspended, and he
7 days, baby.
Anything. He doesn't get anything done to him.
No, he got a fine.
He helped the Reds, really. The way that Amir Garrett's pitching right now, he actually helped the Reds by getting Amir suspended.
It really is. The offense has really stepped up. Like last 18 games, the Cubs have scored the most runs in baseball and have the highest WRC plus.
After being historically bad to start the season.
But Matty Mitch brings it up.
The metrics aren't good for Javi this year.
And he brings. Oh no, the defensively, I know he's been pretty rough.
No, and offensively, he's the worst in the league in whiff percentage. And, but he's also he's also right now. Top 93% in barrel percentage. So when he does hit the ball, when he hits the ball, he hits the shit out of it. It's just he swings and misses a lot.
The thing, and then Matty Mitch brings it up. Cubs offensive is going to come around. Says does their pitching staff hold up?
Right, and the answer to that is probably not. Let's be honest.
And again, I don't know why. I thought, remember, like right before opening day, I had a couple margaritas, and I was looking at the Cubs, looking at the rest of the NL Center, and I was like, nope, still feeling confident. I have no clue why, because right after the Yu Darvish trade happened, I'm like, they have no fucking pitching staff. So I don't know. I guess I just completely forgot about that, because the pitching staff, I mean, everything that's happened so far this was projectable. It's like, yeah, you're not going to have a lot of innings from your starting rotation because you just don't. It's not that great. And like, yeah, Zach Davis is probably going to even out. Kyle Hendricks isn't going to face the Braves every fucking start because apparently he just can't pitch against the Braves. And then you got basically what you got from Arrieta, his first like 4 or 5 starts before the blister or the cut. I forget what he had on his hand. Was basically what you kind of expected from Davies. So that kind of evened out. And then Trevor Williams has been up and down. But like, yeah, that's what you're going to get from this rotation is you hope that Kyle Hendricks figures it out. You hope that Davies gets back to, being like, okay. And then the rest of it is kind of a question mark. Adbert Alzolay, you can count on him, but like, he's only going to give you 5-6 innings. It's not like he's an ace right now or anything.
He's throwing. He's last 2 starts.
Steve, buddy, appreciate the enthusiasm. It's not gonna happen.
Probably not gonna happen. But I love this too. Is that this is the bittersweet irony of right now where the Cubs are at. The eye test and the numbers test right now sync up with if this Cubs team had a serviceable rotation and quality bullpen to choose from. This Cubs team right now is a World Series contender with this offense. And here we are.
They're only 2.5 games out.
Playing pickup sticks with arms.
But like that's the thing though. Like they're going to keep being streaky because the rotation just isn't, the pitching staff as a whole just isn't good enough to.
Right.
Cubs are going to lose a lot of beer league
sucks.
softball scores. They're going to lose a lot of beer league. They're going to lose 13-12 a lot. I think when they lose, it's not going to be I don't think it's going to be as much of a 3-1 thing this year. I think it's going to be the wheels came off. I mean, my God, like even in the extra inning stuff, the bullpen's not super sharp. Oh, I mean,
it's not.
It's a little terrifying.
No, it's the same thing. Like the bullpen is basically like because I think they're one of the top bullpens in like strikeout percentage or whatever, but they're also fucking dead last in walks, and that's the problem. They just keep walking people, and it's like, well, fuck. There goes the close game to now you're down 2, and like they got pretty lucky this against the Dodgers because they like
a perfect relay on a ball off the wall to KB, to Javi, to the plate, and Justin Turner having basically an asthma attack in the third.
Yeah. And
it was the game of that changes the game completely. That was not a pitcher. Great job, pitcher. Yeah, you meant to have him hit the ball off the wall so that the relay would get the guy to the plate. No, that's not that was a bailout by the defense. It's not great. Like and the wheels come off fast. Like in the extra, how many times now the Cubs have been in how many extra inning games? Look at the final score of these extra inning games. There's been a couple games where the Cubs have lost by like 3 or 4. Right. They're giving it 2 runs, 3 runs in these extra innings, not just the one that's basically a
no, but like that's just the most frustrating part. I mean, Manny Mitch brought it up, and I mean, I just that kind of just like went over my head. I guess I just wanted to forget like how shit that Yu Darvish trade was. Mm-hmm. But like ever since that point, and even after they signed Arrieta, it's like okay, he's like 35 and declining. Like Trevor Williams, all right, like maybe you can get him back, but like, and he's been fine. Like he's like your 5th starter, he's been fine, or 4th starter, whatever.
Right.
But it's like they just the rotation depth just isn't there. The bullpen, like fucking love Andrew Chafin. Like Craig Kimbrell has a 0.69 ERA. Like he blew that save the other day with a solo home run, but I mean he's been fucking great. But after that, it's a lot of.
Davies was good in his first start, and he has been. I mean, tomorrow, I think the combined ERA of both the starters tomorrow in the Cubs Pirates game is like 15. So if you're going to bet the over, tomorrow's the day to bet the over.
No, Kevin, you know how this works. It's going to be a 1-0 fucking.
Yeah. Yep.
Smoke.
There you go. I fixed the banner for you on the bottom.
That's good.
But yeah, go ahead, Kevin.
I was going to say the thing about this Cubs team is that it's frustrating to see, but you see the Maples. Well, Maples kind of drives me nuts a little bit here and there because he's a little inconsistent. But Steele, Thompson, Alzolay, those are guys that are actually getting it done. And you look at, there's no reason that a big market team that's worth the third most valuable team in all of baseball will be rebuilding. It should just be retooling. And at this point, it feels more like it is a rebuild. Like the Cubs were supposed to spend until the pups are ready, and then you just let the pups kind of fill in. Instead, the Cubs are just not spending anymore. They're what are they? 150 below the margin, the luxury tax now at this point, 140, and they're not spending. So they're like we now are sit here waiting for prospects to like show up. Now, I will throw this out there because we haven't talked about it yet, and I'd love to talk about it for a second. Ed Howard had his professional debut the other night for the Pelicans, and I mean, I want to inject every single video that they posted the other night into my veins. He made one of the most athletic catches I've seen all year. He must have gotten 36 inches, 40 inches off the ground to snag a line drive. Coming across, fields a ground ball behind second base, off balance throw, puts a shit ton of mustard on the throw too, plus arm. Like that's an arm. Like Nico Horner, I love him to death. He doesn't have that arm at shortstop. Ed Howard has as good an arm as Javi does at short. Watching him make that throw. Easily. That was effortless. And then he goes up there and hits a line drive down, hits a piss rod, drives in a run. I need it. And then Burl Caraway gets the save last night, gets his first debut, his debut. These are guys that I really want to see sooner. But I thought we were with a big budget team and a team that's worth this much money and charging, $60 for nosebleed seats. We're not supposed to be rooting for our minor league players.
Like not this year.
No. We did the watching in like the early 2010s, 11, 12 through the 15s. I thought we were done for a little bit, like minor league watching, like except for like the dude that's like ready to come up and help the team. Not like please God, send help.
And Kevin, that's like even the most frustrating thing because like think about just like the movies they made, like the money they spent was on.
Ready?
Here's
Pay
for the
attention.
people watching. Here's that Howard. Play it. Play it. Describe it, Kevin. Do the play-by-play.
Oh,
That's how he got pretty high.
Look at that. Hey, wait, watch this. This is the ground ball. Look at the ground ball. Oh, no problem. Look at the gas that he gets on that throw.
Yeah.
That wasn't him.
No, that's not him.
I know, but I was in the just like look at the money they spent this offseason. You know, it was like the whatever 10, 13 million on Jock, the whatever they spent on Arrieta, then Williams was like $2.5-3 million or whatever it was.
Bargain.
Even with
it's pay less shoes.
Even with all that, no, but even with all that, like the Cubs didn't even have to like spend a lot more money. Just don't trade you Darvish. Don't trade you Darvish, and you're like right now. If you had like you Darvish, Hendricks, you know, you had the Arrieta had the first good month, and then it's like you can deal with like Trevor Williams like being up and down at the back end, and then you have Alzolay who's been, you know, he has a 4.5 ERA, but he's pitched a lot better than that, I think. Mm-hmm. You feel pretty all right moving forward, but no. No.
I almost feel like Jed was like, oh man, the Dodgers are just such a freaking juggernaut that it really doesn't matter what we do this year. We might as well. But now, of course, baseball, there's a reason why you play the games.
Steve, go ahead and rewind and listen to the first 45 minutes of the show.
Steve, I know you're watching right now. I want you to go on your phone. If you use Spotify, look up Pinwheels and Ivy podcast, subscribe, and then you can listen to like the first half of the show was all Sox talk. Or if you prefer Apple Podcasts, do the same. Yep. Subscribe, download every episode, give us a review, rate us 5 stars.
A lot of Sox talk. We split it evenly, and we're actually coming up to the hour point.
It's almost like you came to the party and you're telling the DJ to play your favorite songs, but the DJ already played those songs
a couple times.
You've already heard Humpty Dance.
One thing I do want to say is I am so happy, very, very, very happy to be watching, as Matty Mitch said in the comments over here, grainy videos of prospects playing minor league baseball. Minor league baseball is back. I love it. I love getting these updates. I love seeing, you know, Sheets hit a 440-foot bomb in Charlotte. I love seeing the videos of Ed Howard. I love seeing, you know, I think Kelly's going to be pitching for Kannapolis here either today or tomorrow, but like I love seeing all of it, man. And it's great. I'm very happy for those players. I'm very happy for those cities. I'm very happy for all the people that are employed by those teams. Like it's just, and it almost makes life feel a little bit more normal having all these minor league teams playing again. I mean, I was super happy to see my Twitter feed filled up with minor league reporters that I haven't seen in a year because they haven't had anything to report on. Seeing videos, seeing all this good stuff, it's just it makes me very, very happy. Julie Brady's awesome. So yeah, just super happy minor league baseball's back. The White Sox obviously have a very big series against Kansas City Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I think the Cubs got the Pirates this weekend.
They do, the tough Pirates.
The sneaky good Pirates. So what we might do, because it looks like both teams are off again on Monday, we might do another Monday episode. We'll see if the stars align there. But do you guys got anything else before we go? Because we're just about at the time.
I mean, I'll just say this. Just again, as we move into this stuff, and again, like what we talked about with the KB stuff today, let's just take into consideration this is only just a phone call. It's not a trade offer. It's not. There's nothing. Again, it's like when Dave Kaplan reported the Cubs offer well north of $200 million. No, there was an overture. An overture is not an offer. Overture is like, hey, bro, what's happening? It's a casual conversation. The difference is the Angels may call back and they may not. I know, like, for example, the Mets. The Mets have not called back since they were told what it's going to cost. The Angels may. Who knows? I mean, but that's we got to keep into consideration. Kicking the tires is not a trade offer. It's not anything set in stone. It's just that these are teams that are in need and they're doing their due diligence. It could, again, it could mean nothing. It could mean something. But I do think that I personally think that this is when Dodgers and the Angels kick the tires, it makes a little bit more sense because those are places that KB would be extended to. So like when the Mets kick the tires or the Blue Jays kick the tires, I kind of shrug it off. When the Dodgers and the Angels and the Padres might kick the tires, those are things that actually do have relevance because I know, and now the Padres haven't kicked the tires, but maybe they will. Maybe who knows?
And to the
arms race in California.
people watching this right now, after this show airs, if you see someone else talk about the Angels calling about Kris Bryant, go ahead and feel free to be like,
Simpsons did it.
reply that Pinwheels had it first.
I do want to say I love Kris Bryant, but if the Angels went off for Mike Trout, I'll agree to that trade.
Mm-hmm. Joe Adele, Mike Trout.
They better throw in a prospector too, because
I'll be nice. They can keep Adele. I'll just take Mike Trout. I'm not asking for
a couple Angels prospects with Trout. Then maybe it's fair.
All right, everybody. So for all the OK Fids, I'm Zoe. Everybody have a good weekend. Stay safe. Make sure to call your mother on Sunday. Tell her Happy Mother's Day. And we'll be back maybe on Monday to recap the weekend. Depends if both teams get swept. We'll probably not record, but
tell her promo code Pinwheels for points.
Yeah, sign your mom up for a PointsBet account. And use
happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to your mom, and Happy Mother's Day to your mom. Hey, what up?
Or a very good gift is a Pinwheels and Ivy mug, which you can get. We'll tweet that out. We gotta get so much better at plugging the merch. We suck at plugging the merch. Yeah, but go and get the Pinwheels and Ivy gear. But all right, we'll talk to you guys. Have a great weekend.